bum, 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 bum. Yep, the new Superman trailer is out, and we are going to talk about it right now. Well, hello everyone, welcome to Pop Culture Vortex. I am your host, Alex Pinto, and it is my privilege to welcome you to my channel. As I mentioned, we are going to be talking about the new Superman trailer. It is out. This is the new movie directed by James Gunn and is starring David Cornswet, who is now our new Man of Steel. So yeah, there's a lot to dive into this trailer, so before we get into it, please hit that like button if you do like this video, and if you want to show your support and watch more content, hit that subscribe button. Alright, let's get right to it. So one of the things I do love about this trailer, which I know a lot of people probably disagree, but I have to say, is the tone. The tone very much fits Superman. Like, this is what a Superman film should be. Alright, like, very much it was inspiring. It was an inspiring trailer, from the music to, the charisma that David Cornswet is showing so far. Everything like that. Even like, one thing that they showed in the first trailer that they show now is the kid holding up the flag with Superman's symbol on it. Like, that's a powerful scene. That's the stuff we needed out of a Superman film, which unfortunately, and I know I'm going to see the unpopular thing, but unfortunately that's what lacked in Zack Snyder's movies. Look, Zack Snyder, I admire what he tried doing with Superman. Like, he wanted to kind of darken it up, and it has been proven we can do a darker Superman with Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois practically cracked the code with that. Zack Snyder, unfortunately, did not. Zack Snyder, what he ended up making was he made Superman way too dark, and that unfortunately, that Superman was not inspiring in the slightest, and ultimately just had a film that, while good, it just didn't feel like a Superman film 100%. Like, there were moments where he very much was Superman, but unfortunately, there was just not enough of it for me to say that that was a definitive Superman film. So, now, I know it's going to come off as unpopular, but that's just my opinion on Zack Snyder's Superman. So there's that. So that's why I've been waiting for this one. I know James Gunn, he definitely has the ability to make some lighthearted, but at the same time, some pretty serious stuff, like Guardians of the Galaxy had that pretty good balance of that. So I cannot wait to see what he does with this film. Now, I've heard that he has said that he wants to make this the most serious film he's ever made. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, if you've seen the trailers, there's going to be some humor in this film, because that's just James Gunn. You just cannot take that away from him. He likes putting in humor. So yeah. But another thing I'll say is that I really like, first of all, the visual effects do look pretty damn awesome, like I will say. But I also like the way they start off this trailer. First of all, they start off with an interview between Lois and Clark, which I'm assuming that the way he was dressed and all that, right, and the fact that he does have his glasses off, I'm assuming that Lois already knows that Clark Kent is Superman. Now, maybe he could make the argument that he just has his glasses off, he's just wearing regular clothes, and maybe she might not know who he is. So they haven't quite definitively said that she does know who he is. So there's that. But one of the things I like about it, I admire what they did with that interview, because typically whenever you have Superman and Lois interviewing Superman, is that typically always starts off like very romantic. They're basically all flirty and all that. Like, especially like when you look at the Christopher Reeve Superman, they're very much like that. Like, she's basically trying to say good things about him, try to get the good out of him and stuff, like showing off, oh yeah, look, he's a very good guy. No, in this instance, she's not being biased in the slightest. She is pointing out things that are an issue, at least what the world believes an issue, which is the fact that he went into a war zone, he stopped it, but to the government, they see it as him doing some illegal actions. Alright, he didn't discuss with no politicians, not the president, nothing. So they take that as a big issue. And I like that Lois Lane's practically pressing him, and you see Clark is getting frustrated, which, by the way, they spend a good portion on that interview too. Like, that pretty much goes on for like basically the first minute of that trailer, like that interview, as they're going back and forth. It was pretty damn cool they did that. So it was an interesting choice to do it by making the interview kind of a big portion of the trailer, but yeah, I quite liked it. And of course, you just had to have Pa Kent giving some sort of inspiring speech to Clark. And I cannot wait to see where they go with that. By the way, it is interesting that they're not going the route of killing Pa Kent. He could probably die in this film. You never know. But like, it is admiring that he's Superman and Pa Kent gets to see him as Superman for once, on the big screen. Because like, Pa Kent doesn't always die. Keep in mind, Superman the animated series, Pa Kent's alive in that. Even that newer series, My Adventures with Superman, the animated show is out, also has Pa Kent alive. So like, the fact that they're choosing to have Pa Kent live in this film is interesting. So I cannot wait to see what they do with him. And of course, one thing I love is that the fashion. Whenever you see the credits, like say from director James Gunn, all that, I love how it is very much paying homage to the Richard Donner films. Like, the style, and everything. It looks fantastic and visually stunning. The music, of course, they play a little bit of the John Williams theme, you can tell, but he kind of puts his own spin to it. It is fantastic. I love the music in this trailer. I'm guessing that's going to be his official theme song for this film, and it works so well. It's inspiring, that's what we want out of a Superman film. So I'm excited for this film in reality. And of course, you see Green Lantern, you see Hawkgirl, you see Mr. Terrific, you see some pretty good action there. You see more fight scenes with Superman. Now, granted, he is kind of getting his ass kicked, but you don't always want to represent Superman as too overpowered. Otherwise, if you don't put any stakes for Superman, then, there's no point. Because that's actually a very common issue that fans have with Superman, is that sometimes he just comes across as too powerful and just that he could do anything. So the fact that they are having him being vulnerable and getting his ass kicked sometime, I think is quite clever. And I think that's what is needed. Let's add stakes in the Superman film. Otherwise, then I remember Smallville had that issue where, like, at times Clark Kent will have a villain that he could just push with just one hand and it's done. And at times, yeah, it got a little annoying, although it worked for that show at times. And I love Smallville, by the way, so let's just make that clear. I love Smallville, but that was a pretty common flaw with that show. So yeah, look, let's put it this way. James Gunn's style is, in this trailer. You can tell it's a James Gunn film, but I feel like his style will definitely work. And yeah, I just cannot wait to see what he does. First of all, that huge monster that's in there, that kaiju, I guess. I cannot wait to see how that scene goes down. Superman fighting a big monster on the big screen. I cannot. That seems pretty damn awesome. And I guess that weird Juggernaut looking, I don't know. That might be from the comics. I don't know, but I cannot wait to see how those goes. There's a lot of things going on with this movie. Some insane stuff. What does Lex Luthor have planned? I cannot wait to see where that goes. And of course, Crypto. Yeah, Crypto. You see some action. You even get to see him in action too. He jumps on that chick. And I guess he leaves her a scratch. So I cannot wait to see how that goes down. Seeing some action from Crypto. And of course, I love the ending. It was you got a dog, and Crypto's just on top of him while he's in bed. That was pretty cute, I'll admit. So yeah. Now, actually, it's funny because I've actually heard some people they made a change to this one scene, and that is, so in the first trailer, it became controversial when Superman is there getting arrested. Somebody throws a can at Superman's head, and he flinches a bit. And people got mad because, of course, Superman's meant to be indestructible. He shouldn't even feel it. But, of course, in the trailer, it made it look like he felt it. And it kind of hurt, I guess. I'm not saying it hurt, but, he felt it. And people say he shouldn't have felt that. He shouldn't have felt that. And, of course, James Gunn went okay. So he changed it. He made that slight change. And he doesn't flinch this time around. So clearly James Gunn is listening to the fans on some aspects. So, yeah, let's see what other change. I hope he doesn't change it too much to, you always want to please the fans, but to a certain extent. You don't always want to cave to certain, fan backlash. Because sometimes, that can kind of go south really easily. It has happened before. The Arrowverse, right? The CW Arrowverse. They had their moments like that, and where they listened too much to the fans, and a lot of those shows suffered because of that. So I really hope that James Gunn doesn't fall into that same trap. We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, what can I say? I think this trailer is fantastic. It's inspiring. I look up to this Superman. That's what you should be doing. You should look up to the Man of Steel. You shouldn't be doubting him. Of course, there is always that element that in other media that the society does tend to doubt Superman because of his godlike powers. But of course, we as the audience know that he is generally a good person trying to do the right thing. You know? He does things not because he expects to please people or like all that stuff, prove a point. He does it because he is generally a good person and wants to help humans. And this trailer perfectly represents that. You know, especially when he stops the West. He's getting frustrated with Lois because, like, I want to save people. And then Lois is like pressing him, going like, no, what you did was illegal. And that's why I admire that, you know, interview scene, because like it's not like the cliche Superman and Lois scene, where, you know, Lois is basically falling in love with him, and it's not like, you know, she's being all flirty, trying to like make him out to be the all goody two shoes. No, she's actually pointing out, you know, things which makes real life things, like, you know, the fact that what he did was kind of illegal. So I kind of feel like that added more some realism to this trailer. So I cannot wait to see how all this goes down. And yeah, man, can't this movie just come already? Like, I just want this. Well, I just want to see this movie already. Like, I just cannot wait. But anyways, guys, question is, what do you all think? Did you like this trailer? Did you maybe dislike this trailer? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And of course, like I said, if you do like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to show your support, hit that subscribe button to see more content, all right? Hope you all have a good night.